So in relationships, there's going to be happiness, and there's also going to be moments of suffering. It's easy to coast along in the relationship when there's plenty of happiness, not so easy when there's plenty of suffering. So that's why it's important to learn how to suffer. So how should you suffer? By embracing it, not resisting it, and then reforming it. How do you embrace it? You just allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you feel without doing some version of meltdown or shutdown or defensiveness or anything else. You just let it in with no resistance. How do you reform suffering? If you will do step 1, which is no resistance, step 2, which is reform, will happen by default. Your suffering will be reformed simply by virtue of the fact that there's no resistance. When you resist suffering, you exacerbate it. When you embrace it, there's less suffering. Think of it like this. Let's say that somebody was going to punch you right in the jaw, and you tightened up your neck muscles and stood straight to try to stop that punch. That's going to be high impact, and there's going to be some suffering. Now think of this scenario. Somebody punches you right in the jaw, but you see it coming, and you roll with that punch. In other words, your head and your upper torso move back in the same direction as the punch, but since you're rolling with the punch, there's much less impact, therefore much less suffering. So in the first scenario, there was resistance, thus full impact. In the second scenario, you moved in the same direction as the punch, less resistance, less suffering. So how does this analogy translate to the actual relationship with your spouse? When there's tension, disagreement, differing opinions, you welcome all of that rather than getting defensive and resistant. Thus, you experience much less suffering. Is it the case that sometimes you have to swallow your pride, bite your tongue, or put the ego in the closet? Yes. But that's not suffering, that's just discipline. Disciplining your ego is not suffering. It's training yourself to embrace and reform